Yeah, it's been a while. I thought I'd do sort of like an update video or something. I've got a couple of things, just stuff, things, and I thought I sort of roll in Kit 171's 10 random questions, which I didn't prepare at all, and I'm gonna do that because I think I can do them really quick. And 10 random gaming questions. I have them blown up so I can read them from here. They're behind the camera, so I'm gonna have to read them. Anyway, it's been a long day. It's not over yet, but we'll make the best of it. I'm gonna do the questions. I have some pickups. I'm gonna talk maybe a little bit about what I've been doing past couple of weeks or days or whatnot. And, well, let's do it. What two games would you like to see a crossover of? Well, I could think of one game, but I've been really into the 2D platformers. Tony Cruz, Electric Adventures, did that. Sydney, I lost it now. Sydney something. It's a 2D. It's just like Castle in the Darkness, and it's a little bit like Shovel Knight, like retro 8-bit look-alike 2D platformers, which is a little Metroid exploration and Castlevania run and hack and slash. I don't. Is that the right word? So what two games? I think I'd like a mix of God of War and Castle in the Darkness. Castle in the Darkness is a game that the Half-Blind Gamer Seb has been playing. It's a Steam game. It's one of those games. It in itself is a Metroidvania game. In that style, but I'd like to see God of War thingies in that. Okay, next question. What series or game did you try to get into but couldn't? Series or game? I'm gonna, my life isn't finished yet, so anything is possible, but I played Final Fantasy 1, and I played Final Fantasy 7, and I really tried. But the grinding got the better of me in Final Fantasy 1, but I felt that I had to do it, and I did Final Fantasy 7, but only for an hour or so, but it's like that with many games. I put it down, and I never picked it up again. So, but I've collected Final Fantasy games, a lot of them. I have on the PSP. I have, there it is. I can show you. I can show you the ones that I have for the PSP, like Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy 2. This one's never been in my PSP, but this has. It's now in here. So that's one that I hope to ever be able to get into. Sorry for jumping off screen there. Which do you prefer, local co-op or online? Local co-op. LAN party. Bring your 4 PCs, your 6 PCs together and have a blast. That's what I like. Online, I've talked about that before. I have never played an online game, bar Elite Dangerous, but I find that a different section of gaming because you can really go off and do your own thing. The problem with online gaming is like the same that you see on Facebook and YouTube sometimes. People are anonymous, and anonymity is dangerous, and I don't like it because people do silly things. Which I would like to avoid. What defunct developer do you wish was still around now? I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. I couldn't even list the developers that didn't exist anymore. What, Squaresoft? I know they're still like Square Enix, but I don't know why I said that. So I don't know. I'm gonna pass. Favorite handheld overall. I should say that my experience with handhelds is like the Game & Watch games by Nintendo, the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, DSi, DSi XL, 3DS, and the PSP. That's my handheld gaming. Am I missing one? Look over my shoulder. Well, there's a Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Advance SP. Which I've all played. Favorite one is the PSP. And I don't have the earliest version of that, but I like, every time I turn it on, I'm amazed at the quality of the display, and the Vita must be even better, but I've never even owned one. So, but I'm going with the PSP. I mean, it has its flaws, it's not perfect. I like the 3DS, but I have to say that the 3D effect, I have to get used to it after I've put it down for a while. I like the feel of the 3DS. It's like a beefy system, and you open it up and you feel like you're holding something, and I like that. The stick is good, you know, the little thingamajig. I like it's definitely second place, but the 3D effect, I find myself turning it off sometimes because I'm trying with my eyes to set them straight, and I can't, and then and then I can, and I think, okay, hold it. I know the new 3DS is a lot better. I saw that once, and that I didn't have the problem there. So, but PSP is my answer. What game did you take a random chance on and ended up really liking? Taking a chance on. Well, I take a chance on almost any game that I buy because I've not played most of them, but ended up really liking. There's a lot of games that I really liked, and the one that I picked up like Shin Megami Tensei for Lucifer's Call for the PS2, which I really liked, but that's not really taking a chance. I'll tell you one for the PS2, the Red Planet. The Red Planet is a game that I took a chance on. I didn't know anything about it, but I dare you, if you haven't played, I played it with Mark, Lactobacillus Prime. I said, I've got a good co-op game. You can play it single player or co-op. You'll love it. It's platforming, it's brawling, it's sort of bullet hell shooter even. It's great. It's got all these things. On the PS2, the Red Planet. I love it, and you will too if you try it. If you had to go into combat with a game character, Kratos from the whatchamacallit, I just mentioned it. God of War series. I mean, he's human. He's strong. He's beefy. The gods trust him. Zeus trusts him to protect and save his ass when he's in trouble. He's afraid of nothing. He'll stare death in the face and rip its collarbones apart or something, whatever, because rip his lungs out. Hard, the guy doesn't have any lungs anymore, but Kratos is cool. He has like the red stripe and he looks angry, and if I had to go into battle, I'd like do the toweling and bringing the drinks, and he could do the fighting. I need that. I need someone like that. And Evo Haler, if he was a game character, I'd take him. What game have you most regretted trading away with a friend? What game? I would. Well, my console, my Philips video pack. You can't see it. My Philips video pack. I was tired of it, and I wanted something else, and I didn't want. It's the classic thing that you do. And that you regret later, and that's the whole reason why I had my Commodore 64. I didn't trade that away. I sold it. My friend Pete, he had like, forgive me, I don't know why I did this. This thing, I was like 10, or 8, whatever. He had this 3-in-1. You can't even call it a stereo system, but it was a tuner, it was a tape deck, and it was a record player. And I never had a record player, and I just wanted my own record player. And that had it all. And I think, but I can't remember very clearly, but I think that I traded that thing for my console. And come to think of it, there is a slight. I don't have that stereo anymore because I knew that at the time that I traded it in, the tape deck didn't work, and Pete said, "Well, the tape deck doesn't work." But I said, "I don't care. I just want it." So I took it, but there is a slight chance that Pete still has it in his attic. So I should really look up Pete and ask him if he still has it, because I'm gonna raid his house and steal it. If he doesn't give it back to me, or sell it at least. Favorite gaming marketing slogan? Not really a slogan, but I'm always, I always enjoy when people from the U.S. reminisce about video game commercials, because even though we had like the same video game boom that you guys had over there, we didn't have any commercials on TV for games or consoles for that matter. It's so, and maybe I missed them, but I watched a lot of kids TV, and I never. There was one, and that really captured my imagination, and I can sort of reenact it. If I won't do it completely, but. It was for the Atari 2600. There's two parents, and they talk into the camera and they say, "It's our boy's birthday tomorrow, and look at what we got him." And they sort of had it behind their backs, and they said, and it made that sound like an Atari 2600, and it's sort of, you could hold it in your hand like that, and to me that thing was gold. That was an Atari 2600, and he was just holding it in his hand like it was a toy. But it wasn't to me, because it was like a piece of diamond. And they ended up like sort of testing it out, while the kid was sleeping, and they were playing like Space Invaders, and the kid came down, "Oh, Mom, Dad, what's that noise?" And they felt all guilty, So that's not a slogan, but it's like a commercial, and just the way that the guy handled the 2600, that was sort of my favorite thing. Recommend a great game. Currently, I would say the God of War series. No, yes, I mean it's a good series, but I will recommend the Red Planet. Go on eBay, go on your local site. Just go away from the video. I'll be here. You won't miss anything. Just the Red Planet. No one's heard of it. It's a super awesome game. It'll be cheap because it's totally under the radar. You heard it from me first. I think it was Metal Jesus who mentioned it once, and I was like you. I just picked it up, and it is awesome. It's an awesome game. The Red Planet. Go. Okay. Remember, like 2-3 videos back, I did a series on this thing, on the Spyglasses. Well, I went out last Friday, glasses charged, in my car, out thrifting. I found an original Xbox for $9.50. It had like aftermarket control, after-party controllers. So it would have been a nice video. So I'm in the car. I pick them up, the glasses, and I turn them on, and nothing. And I'm thinking, oh man, you know, it's just, I had it fully charged, but the manual said don't charge it constantly, so I pulled the charge off, and I put it on my desk, and it was fine. You know, I tested it, it was fine. I pick it up again, it's dead. It's completely dead. So I'm thinking, you know, it's lost its charge. Damn. So I charge it up, short time. No charge light first, so I'm thinking, well, maybe the battery's completely dead, so I have to charge it for a longer time. I come back after an hour, nothing, no charge light. I open it up, I take my multimeter, 4.5 volts out of the battery. I think that sounds, I mean, it's not 5, but it sounds good, you know. It sounds just like it's right, so still no charge light. I charge it for a full night because the manual said the first 3 times charge it like 12 hours. So I do that, I come back the next one, no matter what I press, I had a couple of blinks, you know, off, on, and off again, and nothing. So I go to PayPal, want my money back. Forget it. PayPal gives your money back if the thing doesn't arrive, but not if you get it and it works for 2 days and it breaks. Then forget PayPal. PayPal, like, they advertise with their buyer protection, but they don't really give it, you know, that readily. So I go on eBay, and eBay's the same. You solve it with the seller. Solve it with the seller. There's no option for getting it fixed, like cancel the order or whatever. You're stuck with the thing that's broken. So finally, you know, I'm sort of in you know, I go in guns blazing with the seller. Well, guns at the hip, but loaded, you know, and you know, I got one in the chamber, but the guy's really nice to me, and he says, well, I'm sorry that it's, you know, have you tried this? Yes, I've tried that. Have you tried that? Yes, I've tried that. I said, well, you know, I really want like a refund, or I want a replacement, something like that. And he finally he said, well, you know, you're going to have to ship it back to me, and then, this is in Hong Kong, and this stuff comes from Hong Kong, so I packed it in, you know, everything's still there. I'm at the point where the guy has said, will send it back to me, and I responded, said, sure, it's no problem. What's your address? Where do I send it? Silence. So either I'm stuck with this one, or he's gonna come through, and I'm if it goes well, I'll name him. If it goes bad, I'll name him and shame him. But as it stands now, I've got a broken pair of glasses, Spyglasses, that it doesn't work. I got pickups. I went to the old man pickup place, I think a couple of, I don't know, 2 weekends ago. And there's always something new. It's a big city, you know, for my understanding. It's a big city, and they have a lot of new games. So I found Project Gotham Racing 2 for the original Xbox, which I hear, you know, I like racing games. They age fairly quickly now that the new racing games are just so awesome. You know, the Cressida and the Project Cars and stuff. They're just, I think they're amazing, looking at least. I haven't really played them on the new consoles. Then I found Forza Motorsport for the Xbox, original Xbox. You know, and I have to say that these games, you know, although they're not on my list, they're cheap and they look so good. You know, there's now people doing away their Xboxes to get a new console. You know, they sort of skipped maybe the 360, but these people really took care of their stuff. And this game, I really would have never bought this. If it weren't for Dean Thompson and his love for the game, peer pressured into buying Manhunt. a Rockstar game. Now this is that's the first 20 minutes gone. It's really not my kind of game that I'd pick up, but Manhunt 2, Manhunt for the Rockstar game, killing people. It says please stop me on the back. This is a brutal blood sport. Not my kind of game, but if you find it like this, and someone's been so positive about it, I gotta have it. I haven't tried it yet though. Then, it's a sort of a Tales from the Booter. I can't even remember who did this to me. No, let me rewind that. Someone mentioned a game, and I thought, ooh, gotta have it. Or no, I didn't even think gotta have it. I just went on the sites and looking for it, and only expensive, you know, 50, 30, thinking, forget it. But there's a version 2 of this game. And there was one that was cheap, 17 euros and 46 cents, some crazy amount like that. And then he said shipping is 276. Now that amount is a standard amount, so I recognize that amount. So you still have it, sure, still have it. I think the guy was like a reseller. I'm thinking, okay, I'll take it. Do you want to pick it up? No, I'm not going to pick it up. You send it to me. Okay. And so I already did the math, and I added the 276 to the 17 something, and I rounded it up to 20. So I'll give you 20 for it if you ship it to me. Is that okay? No, first he emailed me back. He said, "Oh sure, 20 excluding shipping." I said, "No, you said the game is 17 this and the shipping is 2 that, and I'm offering you 20, which is more." Oh yeah. So sure. So he agreed with me. Okay, so 20 covers the shipping and the game. So we have a deal. Good. Thank you very much. So I'm in the process of transferring 20 bucks to his account, which I can do online like that, and he mails me again. If you want it wrapped in like a bubble wrap, it's 20 and 24 cents. This guy's like communicating in single sentences, you know, and so I returned the question. I said, "Did you really want me to? Yeah, I've transferred the money. Do you really want me to transfer 24 cents?" No, he said, it's the question, do you want the bubble wrap? So I said, no. And this is what he sent me. Like, what the hell is this? It's paper, and he sort of folded paper and then just rammed tape around it. He was obviously mad. You know, I would have thought, who cares? You know, 25 cents, 24 cents even. Who cares? Just put it in a bubble wrap. But no, it's a PS1 game, and he puts it in this. And I knew he was gonna do it, and I said, fuck it. I'm not gonna transfer 24 cents. You're just gonna, you know, ship it to me. And this is what he does. He wraps paper around it. Come to think of it, I ordered something else from a guy. Before I start that story, it's really Tales from the Booter, this. I've never had this game, but I felt that I had to... see? Yep, my fault. It's my own fault. I knew it. But it's Parasite Eve 2 for the PS1. It's in fairly good condition, but you know what? The case is cracked. It has the manual, which is in very good condition. It has 2 discs. 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. The quality is impeccable, so he wasn't lying there. It's a Squaresoft game. Hey, didn't I just mention them? Impeccable. Again, Parasite Eve 2, no one ever got into this one. Or did they? Is that circle supposed to be on there? Or I think it, yeah, it's part of the print. Coming soon, Final Fantasy IX. So I got this, but you know, it got banged up, of course, in the mail, because the guy he wanted 25 extra cents. What an asshole. I'm sorry, but you know, I have enough cases, so I can find a good case and put this in it. And, what a jerk, huh? Some people. So I bought. What did I buy? I bought something off a guy, and he was really odd in his communication, and he really wanted me to come pick it up, and I said, well, I can't. Well, he said, well, shipping it is really hard for me, and I was thinking maybe he's like heavily handicapped or something, and I was starting to feel sorry for him, and well, in the end I said, well, you know, you're gonna have to ship it, and we sort of worked out a price, and he wanted like a crazy amount for shipping, and I said, well, no way, you know, you're gonna put it in an envelope. It was a game, but I can't remember which game it was. It may pop up in my memory. So a crazy amount of shipping. He went to the post office. He said, well, you know, it was more than I thought, so I paid him for the for shipping the game in like it was Yoshi's Woolly World. Now I remember. I paid him for shipping. No, it wasn't. For shipping it in an envelope, so I know what price it is. I even told him, you know, you go to the post office or whatever, and put it in an envelope and send it as a letter. It'll fit through the mailbox. And he came back. No, it was like 3 times as expensive. And I was looking up. So what can you ship for that price? And it was like a package up to 5 kilos, and it was a game. So I'm thinking, you know, are you stupid or what? And I started adding things up. I think, well, maybe the guy's like, you know, he has this problem, and so but he shipped the game, and I said, well, it's here, and he sent it in a box, a game in a box. There's no filling in it or nothing, just bouncing around in the box. No wonder that he paid so much for it, because he basically sent a parcel. And I sent him a mail. Said, you know, I think. You know, I feel that there's a reason why you have trouble sending this stuff. You know, so I said to him, because he asked me to pay the rest of the amount for the shipping, and I sort of agreed, thinking, you know, there's something wrong here. Something is. I felt sorry for the guy, and I shouldn't have, because he sent it in a box, and then he explained to me, yeah, I was on my way to a wedding and I didn't have time to look for an envelope. So guess what? You know, I'm not paying for the rest. Forget it. Jesus Christ, some people, you know. I've been training with people for over 10 years now, and I know how it goes, and I can fish out the crazy ones by now. So gee. What have I been doing? Well, if you follow my channel, you may have seen that I'm back into Minecrafting with Grubgun and Catkin and Donnie Campbell and Jorge, G-Unit Kalima, Donnie Campbell, Evo Haler, Giles, Grubgun, Catkin, and Mark is still hasn't shown his face. So, but I know that, you know, he's not like the grindy kind of guy. But we're on our way back to the moon again. This time we have our own dedicated server, not in Giles's house, not in Evo Haler's house, but we have Giles has rented a server. We have a TeamSpeak server on it. We are admins to the server. It's great. You know, we have full control over it. We even can select the mod pack that we have. So we're off to the moon. We have built 30 rockets, which was a game glitch. We built one and then it started copying, so now we have 30. So we're building the rest. We're on our way to the moon. So I'm playing a lot of Minecraft again, which I really like. I wouldn't enjoy it in a single player mode, but with the group like this, hours go by. I have 3 games on pre-order. I noticed that Xenoblade X is a bit of game news here. Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U has been bumped up or down or further away. It was supposed to be this month, but it's moved to December now, which is fine. I'll just adjust the budgets for that. I pre-ordered The Legend of Zelda for the Wii U, which is, I think, due in 2016, so that's next year, but I have the pre-order in. And there's another bit of news because I pre-ordered, which is due this month, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight will get a physical release for the Wii U, for the PS3, for the PS4, I think for the Xbox One. It's a 2D platformer, 8-bit like, you know, that kind of thing, which I love, just like Castle in the Darkness, but a physical release, and I got it for the Wii U. It's pre-ordered, so I should get that like in 1 or 2 weeks, if that doesn't get moved on as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about that one. Shovel Knight, nice game. It's a bit like 3D Dot Game Heroes, the other game that I never finished. But you know, that kind of style, I like it. Last bit of news, I'm going to do, well, I'm planning on doing a course, a Commodore 64 programming course. A bit like Electric Adventure Tony, but a little bit different. Tony obviously has more experience. This is, I just want to basically do 2 things at a time. Record my own experience, you know, learning about these things like raster interrupts and character sets and tile mapping and collision detection, that kind of thing. And take people by the hand, you know, and learning assembly a little bit for the Commodore 64. I want to focus on the Commodore 64 with the VIC-2 chip and the SID chip and the CIA chips and the PLA chip. But I have like a plan to do that really well, and I know how these plans go with me. I can get really excited and then they go away a little bit. But you know, I've got the thing written out, at least the chapters and what goes into them. But I plan to do a really nice job with this one. So let's hope that I'll really do it. What a sales pitch, huh? I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I've done the questions. I should do a Nova Bug as well. But I'm not going to tack that to the end of this video. It gets its own video. Friday Foursome. Favorite racing games. No, I've gone on too long. I'll do a separate video for Chris. Sorry, Mike. You got the one, but you got, you know, at the beginning of this video. So I think that's good. And I'll do another video on those. I'm off. I'm not gonna play Minecraft tonight. Maybe later on, but now I'm just gonna sit and watch TV with my wife. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I should do a little shot for the old video. I think I'll do that after. I can do that after. See ya. Bye.